Hey Jackson, so I got your message. I'm glad you sent me what you got. You got a really good start here. Um, so you want to give the player the ability to pick up items, and I assume you want them to be able to drop items also, and then do the locked door. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to walk you through taking items, and then I suggest as the next step you figure out how to drop items before we get going on the locking a door. But for now, let's walk through taking and dropping items. So let's see what you got so far. So you figured out, I see that in order to add new command words, you can use these enumerated types. So let's go ahead and add one for take. Take. Okay. Make sure it compiles. Yep, that looks okay. All right, and then well, you know, I want to take another look at your take item method in person, because I think we're going to need a little adjusting of that one. Let's see, take item, drop item, take item. Okay, so yeah, so one thing that occurs to me is you don't know for sure if the items in the room, like a user could just type in any arbitrary item that might not work. So you want to we're going to need to stick in some a test in here. And then another thing that I think would be nice is if you could return the actual item taken, and then that way you could, you know, add a little message in your game class about, you know, what was taken, with even details on what was taken. So let's see. Let's do. I saw that you wrote this nice Boolean test to see if the item is actually in the room. You wrote this item exists method. So let's use that. If the item exists in the room, that's when we want to do this stuff, right? And then I'm going to auto layout here. And then I guess what I'm interested in, like I said, is if we could actually return the item. So make this return the item, and then in here we could say item equals, and use this. I'm going to do a cut paste here. Equals that. So now we know the item exists, so we're collecting it, okay. Then we can say name comma item, remove it, and return item, right? And then otherwise, if the item's not in the room, we can just return null to mean it's not in here. Okay. So let's make sure I didn't break anything. Okay. Let's see what we want to do next. Oh yeah, so we want to make sure that okay, well yeah, so now we have the take item in the person. That's right, we need to put it in the game, right? So let's do that. So let's see, what do you have here? Oh yeah, there's your go room and all that razzmatazz, right? Oh, okay, let's stick it out to the process command. Yeah, okay. So so we need a method for for our take, right? So let's write it here. So private void take command. It's going to be similar to some of these other ones, right? So you have. I'm going to put my closing. Yeah. So you have this deal where you're going to say if we have to make sure we have a second word, right? And if we don't have a second word, we're going to do something like whatever you want your prompt to be, and then return, right? And if we do have a second word, that's going to be our item name, right? String item name equals, we got our second word, and then we'll use your well, now our take item will return the item if it's in the room, right? And then now we can just check and see if it's null, right? If item equals null, because remember we return null, so if it's null, it's not going to be in the room. It means it's not in the room, so we can say system, or for whatever. Let's just leave it. Actually, let's just say like can't pick up the item. Because, well, because you might want to at some point have a test so you can only each item has a weight and you can only pick up so much items or something like that. Or you can just leave it, the item's not in the room, however you decide you want to do it. It's fine. And then here, so you can say picked up, and then item. Now we can call the get description on the item. We have the actual item here. All right. So yeah, so it's just a nice little. Getting it to return the item just gives us this little extra doodah here. Okay, so that worked. So then the next thing we got to do is make sure that we stick it in process command someplace, right? So I'm just going to do like a copy paste and then add stuff. So copy, paste. All right, case, we called it take. Then we'll call our take method, and that's it, right? Okay, so that's okay as far as it goes. The thing is, what we'd really like is to, when we print out the details about the room, we also should be printing out, what we're carrying. So why don't we add a like a get long description method for the player that tells us all the players, or I mean all the person's items that they're carrying. Right. So you did write actually in player you have a get item string. So let's do a, where should we stick it? Let's do, yeah, so this get item long description is for the room, but you also had a, get item string. I'll put it after this because I like this one. So you also have a get item string for the items that the player's carrying. So let's make a public string get long description for the player, and that will have, I'll close this up. that will have, so it's a similar idea to the long description for the room, right? But it's going to actually, it's going to include the long description for the current room. And then also add the item. So return string plus equals, I'm putting a carriage return plus, and we'll use your get item string here. And then say return the return string. And just lay out that stuff. Make sure this compiles. All right, and this is going to also, help us, check and make sure that we're taking the items correctly and everything. Okay, so we put that get long description, and then actually we can just go in your game class. You have a, I think he's called it print location info or something like that. Okay, oh, I see, because you have print carried items. What I would do, since you already have this print location info thing all over the place, maybe just in your print location info, put print location info. Put a instead of person get location info. I don't know. Well, I didn't notice that print carrying thing that you had there, but one way you could do it is, the thing is you just want to make sure you're printing this out. So, however, so if you put it in here, what is person dot get long description, then that way, where all the places where you have print location info, it'll print that out. So now if we play it, we should have, if I say, see, it's saying items carried, go west. Let's go west again. I think there's something in there. Okay, so now we can say take computer, and it says, stretch this out a little bit. It says picked up the computer, and this is the detailed stuff you have on the computer. And if I go east again, it shows items carried, computer. Okay, so that's the idea. And then, yeah, but the next thing you should do really is add your drop command so that you can drop an item in a room. Okay, and then I would do that before you go on to the adding the keys and stuff. But yeah, implement that and implement the drop, and then if you still have questions on the adding the key and stuff, then shoot me another email. All right, but you're making good progress.